NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon getting ready to take on Shayna Baszler. NXT TakeOver New Orleans on Saturday night. Thanks for the time. How's New Orleans treating you so far?
Oh, I love it. Love it. Haven't had crawfish yet, but...
There's crawfish just right down there at the food center here.
Don't tell me that.
They poured out this huge thing of crawfish. The host city of New Orleans does this for all their big events.
Oh.
This is a huge event. It's not only WrestleMania week. You know this is the 300-year anniversary of New Orleans.
Oh, wow. I did not know
So that is why WrestleMania is coming back to New Orleans so quickly, because they really wanted it here for the big celebration.
Wow.
And you can't have a celebration unless WWE and NXT are in town.
Oh, of course.
So you're proudly showing off your championship title here.
Yes.
What's it like traveling with the title?
It's awesome. Adds an extra 20 pounds to my bag.
Right.
Security is also really loving and wants to touch it every time. So that's great through the airports. But other than that, it's awesome representing NXT. It's awesome being the NXT Women's Champion. And honestly, I'm on top of the world right now.
Sure. Well, the one thing I find that's unique about this championship is that so many different times when we talk about looking at the difference between men's and women's championship titles, there's a little bit of a difference. And sometimes they put maybe a little female flair on something.
Yes.
That is not done with this one.
No, not at all.
What's your thoughts about like that?
It's crazy because in a world where women went from divas to superstars, this is kind of like solidification that that's happened. It's just an imitation of the men's championship. Actually, it's exactly the same, just slightly smaller because we have a little bit of a smaller frame. But yeah, it's awesome. It's so like justifying to know that like we're taking bigger leaps every single day for the superstars.
Right. So this will be your second time in the ring with Shayna Baszler. Third time, excuse me.
Yes.
Got to get my count right. But what's it been like in the ring with her? Because she's somebody that obviously comes from an MMA background, but she's been wrestling now for, I believe, about 5 years.
Maybe. I'm not too certain of her wrestling experience outside of WWE. But I know that she's been a tremendous competitor. I've been watching her in Mae Young Classic, going back watching film from the very first TakeOver that we were in, from the NXT TV taping that we were in. And Shayna's a tough cookie to crack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and disrespect her. Like, I have to respect her as a competitor. Maybe not as a person, but the fact of the matter is just that Shayna has an elaborate background. UFC, MMA, a little bit of wrestling, catch wrestling. She is someone to be feared. She is someone to be, I guess, cautious of, if you will. But to be honest, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to be cautious, but at TakeOver, Shayna's pushed my buttons a little too far, if you will, and I'm going to break her. Simple as that.
You've been involved in wrestling for a while now, and you see a couple people like Shayna Baszler and even Ronda Rousey now coming from that MMA background. How difficult do you think that is, considering you know the difficulties of everything you've had to go through in your career just as a wrestler to get to where you are now?
To be honest, I've been doing this for 12 years.
Yeah.
Long time. Or almost 12 years, if you will. And in my experience outside of WWE and in WWE, people with MMA backgrounds, martial arts backgrounds, they all take to sports entertainment very, very, very quickly. The training regimen is similar, the strikes similar, the throws similar. So I think you guys are going to be really shocked with what Ronda has in store for you guys for WrestleMania. But not only that, that's why Shayna has climbed to the top of the ladder so quickly as well.
So the last time I talked to you was very brief, and I told you I was going to talk to you about this. Now we've got an extra couple minutes. We're going to do this. Let's go back to the beginning of your career.
Okay.
You got to train with Skandor Akbar.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
Rough, tough.
Yes.
Man, I love Ak and I miss him to this day. Like, I really do. Ak was like a wrestling dad to me. But when I first got into wrestling, like, I remember thinking that I was going to get in a ring the first day of training, and he ran me down the freeway in 110-degree Texas weather for about a month and a half to prove if I really wanted to be here, if I really deserved to be in the ring. And it's something that I never thought I would be so appreciative of, because he made me want to be in that ring so much more. But Ak was, man, oh, you're gonna get me. I'm trying not to like tear up right now and talk about it, because like, he passed away a few years ago.
Right.
And the one regret that I have with him is not being able. Oh, sorry. The week before he passed away, he asked me to walk him to the ring, and the promoter of that company at that time said, no, you can't do it. I was like, well, this is my trainer. Like, he asked me to, and he was like, no, it's okay. I'll get someone else. And like, I got the call the next week and I was just like heartbroken. Like I was like, that's the one regret that I really do have with Ak.
What do you think you would be looking at this now from where you're at, and also to see where women's wrestling is at?
Ak was always like a huge abdicator. Gosh, he was a huge advocate to like promote women's wrestling as equals. Like he didn't mind that I got in there with the guys and trained. He wanted me to. He wanted me to, I guess, have the same treatment as everyone else. And I think he would look at everything now and he would be immensely happy. He would think that there were still steps to go, but I think he would be so happy with everything I've accomplished, everything the women of WWE have accomplished. Like I said, like, especially like he never called us like divas or girls. Like he was just like, you're one of the boys just like everybody else,
Yeah.
and it's something that like always stayed near and dear to my heart. That's why I talk like a guy, I guess, too. But like, man, like I miss him so much.
Yeah, you've been doing this for 12 years, like you said, and we see where women's wrestling is now, especially in WWE. We see this is kind of the second phase, I guess, of the women's revolution, if we want to call it that. Was there ever a time where you were worried like the women would not get the spotlight like they are now?
To be honest, I remember looking at NXT, the first ever aired pay-per-view that they did, and where they had Paige and Emma wrestle. And I remember thinking, like, man, that match was really good. Like, that won't happen again. I remember saying that to myself, and I know that sounds terrible, but at that time, you have to understand, guys. You have to understand. And then, like, Charlotte and Natty happened. I was like, oh, man, that was really good. All right. And then the Fatal 4-Way happened. And then just time and time again, NXT kept I guess pushing women's wrestling and making it this larger than life thing that it always should have been. And then when the Bellas had that match and it was 2 minutes and the WWE Universe responded back with Women's Revolution, that's exactly what it needed, and it's all thanks to the WWE Universe, to be honest. I'm so happy and so ecstatic to be a woman in WWE, in wrestling right now, because the sky's the limit for us. There's no holding back anymore, and time again we're proving that we're just as good, if not better, than the guys.
So Sunday you're going to be watching WrestleMania like everybody else.
Oh yeah.
You have this history with Asuka. Yes. Obviously, with the fantastic matches that you had, and then kind of she handed you the championship when you won this. What's it going to be like watching her and watching that match, considering seeing what she's done going through NXT and now being, where she is?
It's crazy because me and Oscar were always really good friends. Like even on the indies, she was the big superstar in Japan. I was the big superstar here. We came to NXT, and eventually we knew that was going to happen. We were going to have to cross paths and see who was the victor, if you will. And the odds weren't in my favor. But I'm so happy for her and everything that she has accomplished in WWE, winning the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, going on to WrestleMania. But it is a little bittersweet, if you will, because I want Asuka to win, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I really hope Charlotte wins the streak. Don't get me wrong, but I really want Asuka to win so I can have another opportunity to be the one that beats her.
Yeah. If I'm being brutally honest, I was wondering if you were going to win this championship, and I thought, well, she might be going to the main roster, because we see that at different times where sometimes somebody wins a championship, you go through that run. Sometimes it's, hey, you know what? That's not going to happen here, but onwards, upwards. Was there a moment where you thought maybe I'm going to be going to the main roster already?
To be honest, like at NXT, I still have a lot of unfinished business. I didn't think that after Brooklyn happened, that was what was going to be happening to me. But also, I didn't think I was going to be in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. So there's that.
Yeah.
But, I take what I'm given and I try to push that to the extreme. And right now at NXT, that's my brand. That's what I represent. Like, I am NXT. We are NXT. That's the brand I choose to represent right now. And I continue to, as long as I'm women's champion, and I will say that, and it doesn't matter if I lose the title or not, which isn't going to happen because I'm going to break Shayna. My goal is to be the longest reigning NXT women's champion in history. And I may not be able to beat Asuka right now, but I can beat something of hers.
Right.
So,
and sooner or later, that match will happen again.
Maybe, but it just depends on if she's undefeated or not, to be honest with you.
Right. I mean, well,
it'll happen again regardless, but like I said, a part of me hopes that she remains undefeated until I figure out if that's where I want to go.
Right. And the thing is, too, like, it's great. Everybody has aspirations of being in the WWE, and you want to be there. But there is still this really cool thing that's going on with NXT to be a part of that as well. To where, is there ever a party that says, I don't want to leave NXT as much as I want to be in WWE?
WWE and NXT are kind of the same thing. We have promoted NXT as a third brand. We are the third brand. And it's crazy because I have always wanted to be in NXT. Like I said, watching those women's matches and seeing how much effort they put into their women's superstars or female superstars. I guess what I'm saying is that I came to WWE to be in NXT. Mm-hmm. As much as I loved Raw and SmackDown as a kid, I came to be a part of NXT, and I'm sitting on top of the food chain. And right now, the sky is the limit for me at NXT. I am the women's champion, and I still have unfinished business at NXT. Okay. So,
well, we'll look forward to you taking care of that business Saturday night. NXT TakeOver New Orleans, Ember Moon, Shayna Baszler for this championship right here.